Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A deadly shooting shakes the east side. What police know so far and what's next in the search for the shooter. And a teenager facing serious charges for planning a mass attack at a local middle school has been sentenced. We're going to break down the judge's strict conditions and what this means for the community as we move forward.
Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith.
The widow of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk spoke publicly for the first time since her husband's assassination. The latest about the alleged gunman that is now in custody, that's still ahead.
Plus, it's a warm and a little bit of a muggy morning. I'll have the full forecast of what you need to know for your weekend plans. Plus, take a look at the week ahead coming up in just a bit.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on your Saturday. It is September 13th. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Hey, we also have Devin Karp, who's going to be live in Ingram because Mattress Mac. He's there. He's going to be giving away mattresses to flood victims. Exciting. Mattress Mac always doing so much good, not just, in Texas, but everywhere.
He's a true Texas treasure. I know Devin came in this morning and he was so excited to meet him, and it's still incredible to see kind of the efforts going on in the hill country. And the good news is, for the weather side, at least we're not expecting any rain, which I know has been a big worry. Anytime they see rain, the ground is still very saturated for folks up there. Now, we're not tracking any rain. In fact, the weather is actually relatively quiet. Today, we're going to continue to be on the warmer side. 72 already in San Antonio. For folks in the hill country, sitting at about 73 and 74 near Bernie and Kerrville. But you're waking up feeling muggy, feeling a little humid for some folks, seeing that humidity in the 87% range for San Antonio, 100% as you get up towards Bernie. And throughout the rest of your day, we're really going to continue to see our temperatures warm up already by 90 degrees by around lunchtime. And even throughout the evening, we're still going to continue to see the warmer temperatures. The really only battle we're going to see today is with the humid conditions and also just the cloud coverage. And today's going to really be a copy paste for the next 7 days. We're still expecting temperatures throughout the next 7 days to be in those mid to low 90s, still seeing that cloud coverage. But take a look at our high temperature. About 91 degrees is our average. Throughout the next 7 days, we're actually going to be above average. And the reason is because of this big blue H, that heat high sitting over the Red River and just to the north, in fact, and that's going to allow any showers along the Rockies to really go just to the north and miss us here in San Antonio, which is still going to be much needed relief, especially for folks in the hill country still doing the relief efforts. But it's also going to keep the weather quiet for us in San Antonio. I'll talk about what you can expect today and tomorrow for your weekend, plus take a look at what we can expect coming up for the weekend if there is a small chance of rain coming up in just a bit, Sarah.
Shelby, thank you. This morning, investigators are still working to figure out what caused a shooting on the east side and who fired the shots that left one man dead and another injured. So San Antonio police were close by when they heard that gunfire, and when they arrived, they found a 21-year-old man shot in the leg and a 23-year-old Devin Spry Jr. shot in the abdomen. Both were rushed to the hospital, but the victim later died. Police have ruled his death a homicide. A man has died after suffering a medical emergency in the Bexar County Jail. The sheriff's office says he was found unresponsive in his cell yesterday morning. His cellmate said he was having a seizure. Medical staff tried to save him, but didn't make it. 34-year-old Ryan Postoke was booked on Thursday for driving while intoxicated and crashing a car. At the time of his death, Postoke was in a special cell meant for people going through detox. Under the Sandra Bland Act, police in Castle Hills will lead the investigation into his death. Per KSAT's count, this is the second person who has died at the Bexar County Jail this month and the 10th so far this year. Well, these 4 people on your screen there were arrested in connection with a human smuggling operation near a gas station in Von Ormy. So Thursday night, deputies saw a group of people moving in between a semi-truck and 2 cars at the Love's truck stop there in Von Ormy. So after driving off, deputies say they stopped both vehicles down the road. Then when they looked inside, they found 4 undocumented people. The 4 people under arrest are facing charges from smuggling of persons to engaging in criminal activity. The 13-year-old accused of planning a mass attack at Rhodes Middle School earlier this year was sentenced to 2 years probation. Judge William Cruz Shaw, who has been overseeing this case, also gave the teen a number of strict conditions that he has to follow, including a curfew, counseling, and no contact with Rhodes Middle School. He also can't possess or access ammunition, weapons, or anything flammable. He also has to give the court all of his social media screen names and passwords as well. Meanwhile, the teen's mother, Ashley Pardo, is also facing charges in connection with this case. Investigators say she bought her son ammunition and tactical gear, even though he planned to carry out the acts of violence himself. She has not been indicted at this point. Well, new details in the killing of political activist Charlie Kirk. Officials named a 22-year-old suspect, and for the first time, Kirk's widow is speaking out. ABC's Johnny Fernandez has the very latest.
For the first time since her husband's killing, Erica Kirk spoke publicly Friday evening. In an emotional 16-minute statement, she thanked supporters, praised law enforcement, and vowed that Charlie Kirk's movement will continue.
You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife.
Meanwhile, officials have identified 22-year-old Tyler Robinson as the suspect. They believe fired a single shot from the roof of Utah Valley University, killing Kirk.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Just before his arrest, officials say investigators identified Robinson as the suspect in surveillance footage. They described seeing him walk with an unusual limp, which they believe was caused by a rifle hidden under his clothes. Investigators say they spoke with family members who said Robinson had become more political in recent years, and one referenced an incident where Robinson spoke with a family member about Charlie Kirk coming to Utah Valley University. Keaton Brooksby, who attended 6th grade through 12th grade with suspect Tyler Robinson, spoke exclusively with ABC News over Zoom Friday afternoon.
It really just caught me off guard. I was walking my dog and I saw the picture come through, and I knew him immediately, and I couldn't believe that it was him, especially, knowing him in high school. He wasn't any sort of, person that I would anticipate to be doing something like this. So, just utter shock.
The Utah County Attorney's Office says that it will review evidence over the next few days and is expected to file charges including aggravated murder as soon as next week. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
It's 8:08 and 72 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA, Kerrville City workers get some good news on health insurance. We'll tell you about the new plan that gives them more choices and also helps lower their costs.
Hundreds of Hill Country families are going to be sleeping to better tonight. Literally, hundreds of mattresses are being given away by a Houston legend. Coming up soon, we're going to be talking about some of the families that are getting mattresses and the help that's on the way.
Taking a look outside with live cam, it's a muggy, already warm morning with that cloud coverage sticking around in San Antonio, and that's going to be the story throughout the day today. I'll break down what you need to know for your weekend forecast coming up after the break.
Well, this morning, hundreds of families affected by the floods in the Hill Country will be sleeping better tonight, literally. Devin Karp joins us now out of Ingram for a mattress giveaway from a Houston legend. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. It's a little chilly out here, but spirits are still bright here at City West Church over in Ingram. That's where the one, the only Mattress Mac from Gallery Furniture, a Houston legend, is giving away 500 mattresses to families in need across the Hill Country area. And it's not just Kerr County, too. There are a lot of different zip codes that are available. Check out the line that's already started, by the way. They've been giving them away all morning long, starting at 7 a.m. These crews are going to be here until about 11 a.m. today, or they say until they run out of stock, because this is all for families who lost some of their mattresses due to flooding. It's something that's always in pretty high demand, especially after a natural disaster, and those things can be a little bit expensive sometimes. So it's great to see that there's some good philanthropy going on here. And as you can see, there's a heck of a lot of demand already. These are the cars just waiting in line to get in to start receiving some. They've got intake forms over there, and not to mention some wonderful volunteers in the Hill Country area who have knit their own quilts for a lot of these different families. Really great and sweet to see all the efforts coming together. Later on this morning in GMSA, we're going to be speaking with Mattress Mac and some of the other volunteers, asking them what they made to do to come out here and help out a lot of people. Not to mention some of these cars waiting in line, folks, because there is a long line and a lot of need in this community. But great to see that people across Texas, not only from our area, are stepping up to help out their neighbors. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Devin, thank you. Can't wait to hear from Mattress Mac and some of those people out there receiving those mattresses. How exciting.
I know Devin was really excited because he and I are both from Houston. Right. So we both also saw what Mattress Mac did for the Houston residents during Harvey. And so it's great to see him doing it for all of Texas,
he's
really.
always stepping up.
He's such a treasure.
Yes. Hey, he said it was cool up there.
Yeah.
Not the case here.
Definitely not the case. It's also a little muggy this morning, too, for most of us. And throughout the next few hours, we will continue to see our temperatures slowly but surely start to increase. 72 degrees in San Antonio right now. And already by 10 or 11 a.m., we're already getting into the 80s and seeing the partly cloudy skies. Even in San Antonio, we're seeing that mostly clear to partly cloudy skies already. Now we're going to continue to see the temperatures warm up. Yes, it's still going to necessarily not be as warm for some folks, especially in the Hill Country. They're going to stay in the 80s potentially for some folks. But for us in San Antonio, already near 90 degrees by lunchtime. And this afternoon, we are expecting our afternoon temperature to get to about 94. Still seeing that cloud coverage, but it's still going to be a little muggy. And we're also tracking the wind gusts, gusting up to about 20 miles an hour for some folks. And like I mentioned earlier, that's because of that heat high and that high pressure sitting areas across near the Red River, near Oklahoma and Texas. And we're getting the wraparound winds, which is why we're seeing the wind gusts up to about 20 miles an hour. And throughout the next week or so, that heat high is really going to be the main weather maker for us here in San Antonio. Now, not only that heat high, we're also going to start to see it split and see another area of high pressure really continue to take over, being the main weather factor and being the main weather maker for us here in San Antonio over the next week. And that is going to give us above average temperatures. Like I mentioned, our average temperature is about 71 degrees in the morning, but our afternoon temperature is about 91. So we're expected to stay above average, even though we're only getting to 94. It's still above average, not only for San Antonio, but for most of the country, stretching all the way up to the Ohio River Valley, to the Mississippi River Valley, even getting to the Pacific Northwest and the Northeast. Most of us staying above average, but something that's a little different is we're going to continue to see that below average precipitation for San Antonio. Some areas near the Four Corners staying above average for the precipitation because they're seeing the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Mario continue to stick around for folks over there. But for us, it's not really going to have much of an impact. We're going to have maybe a 10% chance of rain throughout the next week or so, but it's really going to stay closer to the coastal plains. Not necessarily as much for San Antonio, but even then, for us today and tomorrow, still seeing the rain chances very tapered off for some folks. 94 degrees today in San Antonio, 93 tomorrow. Still seeing the mostly clear skies for us in San Antonio, but otherwise, not much to complain about. Continuing to just see copy-paste weather over the next 7 days. Yes, it does have a 10% chance of some showers and for some folks on Tuesday and Friday, but really copy paste Sarah. But after that, we'll be right back with more local news and weather after the break.
San Antonio drivers, a new flyover ramp at Loop 1604 and I-10 opens today. So the ramp will make it easier to travel from eastbound Loop 1604 to eastbound I-10. This is the fourth of 8 flyovers planned as part of TxDOT's $1.4 billion loop expansion project of Loop 1604. The project aims to reduce congestion, improve safety, and enhance mobility across Northwest San Antonio, with all flyovers expected to be open by the end of 2026. The San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo has announced a second round of headliners. Let's take a look at them. That's Hank Williams Jr. He is going to be playing on Friday, February 13th. Hudson Westbrook on Tuesday, February 17th. Robert Earl Keen, that's going to be a big one, Thursday, February 19th. And Ludacris for all the millennials out there, Friday, February 27th. Very excited about all of these headliners. You can get your tickets online. The rodeo will announce more artists in the next coming months. We are well into the month of September, and now is your chance to nominate your favorite educator at your school or your child's school for KSAT's Educator of the Month Award. To enter, just scan that QR code you see on your screen right there, and it'll take you to our website, ksat.com, or you could search Educator of the Month on our website. This is a wonderful opportunity to shine a spotlight on the people who do so much for our students and our community. Project Mend is stepping up to help folks who need medical mobility equipment, and you can be part of it. Join KSAT Community on September 18th for the televised phone bank. Give the gift of mobility. Your donations will go straight to Project Mend to buy much needed medical mobility items like wheelchairs and walkers. And if you have gently used medical equipment to share, the second mobility collection drive of 2025 is happening on September 20th. Just drop off your items at the Wonderland of Americas or the Shriners Auditorium. Everything donated will be carefully refurbished and sanitized to meet state and health safety standards before it goes to someone who really needs it. Simple way to make a big difference in our community. It's 8:26 and 72 degrees. A Bexar County top prosecutor steps aside in a high-profile DWI case. Why Joe Gonzalez recused himself and what this means for Councilwoman Meza Gonzalez's case as it moves forward. The man suspected of vandalizing businesses in the medical center, well, he is now behind bars. How his actions caused a false alarm at UT Health earlier this week, and why a local business owner says our reporting helped catch him. Good morning. It's 8:30 on your Saturday. It's September 13th. We have Shelby in for Sarah today. Another kind of Groundhog's warm day.
I feel like we're going to be in this kind of Groundhog's Day for the next 7 days. But I mean, I'm okay with it, especially because it allows people, especially in the hill country, to kind of recover, right? Temperatures this morning were fairly nice and comfortable. We're sitting in those 70s for some folks, 72 degrees in San Antonio right now, 64 degrees in Fredericksburg. When our Devin Karp was in Ingram, he was saying how it was a little chilly. Well, in Kerrville, they're sitting at 65 degrees. So it makes sense on why it's sitting a little chillier for folks up there. But not only are we seeing the temperatures in the 60s for the hill country, 70s for San Antonio, we're also seeing the dew point temperatures feeling a little muggier too. We're seeing the dew point temperatures in the 60s to 70s within a few degrees of our actual air temperature, which is causing that humidity this morning. And it's going to continue to be a little muggy as we go throughout the rest of the morning, as it normally is for San Antonio. But today is going to be a big day for the city. We have Incarnate Word versus UTSA at about 2:30 is when kickoff is. And if you're tailgating today, it's going to be comfortable at the Alamo Dome. 80 degrees expected for your tailgating forecast, but we're going to continue to see our air temperature warm up into the 90s. So just because when you're going into the game, it's going to be in the 80s doesn't mean when you're leaving, it's going to be in the 80s. We're expecting our peak temperature in San Antonio to be about 94 degrees today, but over the next 5 days, pretty much copy paste, kind of like what Sarah said, that Groundhog Day effect for the next few days. I'll talk about what's causing the temperatures to be like this, plus take a look at the latest drought monitor that was issued on Thursday, coming up in just a bit.
Shelby, thank you. This morning, hundreds of families affected by the floods in the Hill Country will be sleeping better tonight. Literally, Devin Karp joins us now out of Ingram, where mattresses are being given away from a Houston legend. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, guys. The sun is out, people are smiling, and there is a lot of help being done over here in Ingram. I'm standing at City West Church with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mattress Mac. Good morning, sir. How's it going?
Good, Devin. We're thrilled to have all these people out here. We're donating mattresses to all the people who got affected by the horrific flooding, and couldn't be more happy to have great weather and a great crowd.
It's fantastic. You got a heck of a line already and so many volunteers who came up with y'all.
Yeah, we got a lot of volunteers, and we got a Heritage football team. They won their game last night. They all came out, the high school football team. They're strong and loading these mattresses on the trucks, and everybody affected by the zips will be here at 11 o'clock giving out mattresses. You know, after a severe trauma like what happened here in the flood, the best thing you can do is sleep. It's also the most difficult thing to do. So hopefully these new comfy mattresses help people sleep better and start the recovery process.
Well, anyone who knows you is going to know this is by far not the first time you've done something like this. As someone who grew up outside of Houston, was affected during Hurricane Harvey, you're pretty well known for helping out during disasters.
Yeah, one of my things I was taught in high school, we all have a responsibility for the well-being of the community. So when this happened, we knew we were going to get involved, and people at Sealy and Tempur-Pedic were great at donating a lot of mattresses. We brought a bunch of people here and making a lot of people happy, and they'll have better dreams tonight.
Hey, that's what we can hope for, right?
That's what we can hope for. There's hope in the Texas Hill Country. It's great to see all the volunteers here. The spirit of Texas, people rising up to help each other after a disaster, and it's certainly been happening here in Central Texas and the Hill Country.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, Mattress Mac. I appreciate it.
A mattress brings hope.
Hey, there we go. Love to hear it. They are going to be out here this morning until about 11 a.m. or whenever these mattresses run out, because there is already a line, but there is plenty of room for help here in Ingram. Great to see that there's still efforts going on in Hill Country. For now, I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Oh my gosh, Devin, I was like a mom taking pictures of you interviewing a celebrity. Thank you, Mattress Mac, St. Mac. I'm so excited that he's there and Devin got to talk to him. It's really cool. All right, here's a chance to make a difference this month. The KSAT community is teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank for Hunger Action Month, a time to fight hunger together. The San Antonio Food Bank feeds over 100,000 people every week, but they can't do it alone. Together, we can nourish in numbers, and one easy way to give back is by dropping off items from the food bank's 12 most wanted list. So you can do this at any of the 19 participating RBFCU branches throughout September. You can see a list of them and that map on your screen. To find a list of locations that need it most, just head to ksatcommunity.com. Donating food, giving money, volunteering your time, or simply spreading the word helps ensure that no one in our community has to choose between food or a water bill or an electricity bill. Okay, a man believed to be behind the vandalism in the medical center is now behind bars. So sources tell KSAT the man who has been breaking windows at businesses in the medical center is the same person who threw a rock at a window on UT Health's campus. So when that happened, UT Health sent out an alert for an active shooter. To be clear, there was no active shooter. I spoke with the business owner whose shop was vandalized. He believes KSAT's reporting is the reason that suspect is now in jail.
Caught on camera, this man throwing a rock through the front window of a medical center business, and the owners want to know who he is. We first brought you this story on September 10th. That same evening, a rock thrown through a window of the Eckert building prompted an active shooter alert on UT Health San Antonio campus. UT Health police later arrested this man, 42-year-old Germán Hernández Estrada. He remains in the Bexar County Jail with a $25,000 bond and a charge of criminal mischief. Rene Correa, who's provided us with the surveillance video of his business windows getting smashed, says San Antonio police let him know it's the same guy. who's been breaking the windows of their building on John Smith.
You were texted by your SAPD safe officer that they have the guy, and the same one who was throwing the rocks over at UT Health.
Yes.
So what did the text message say? When did you get it?
I got it about 4:30 this morning, and it stated that they had arrested him and that they had got him.
How does that make you feel?
It's a relief. Hopefully there won't be any more broken windows, and I just hope he gets the help he needs.
Correa says he is grateful that KSAT was able to share the vandal's photo to help police identify him. He says, yes, they have had to pay thousands of dollars in replacing damaged windows for the past 6 months, but the chaos Estrada caused so many people on the UT Health campus is why he is relieved he is still in jail.
They thought it was an active shooter, and come to find out it was a guy throwing rocks in the windows, but I can imagine how scared the people were there.
Well, the Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez has recused himself from Councilwoman Ivelisse Meza Gonzalez's DWI case due to a conflict of interest. So KSAT obtained documents that show Gonzalez asked to have a special prosecutor take over the case because the defendant's father, Daniel Meza, is a longtime friend and political supporter. San Antonio police arrested Meza Gonzalez in July on suspicion of DWI. That charge has been upgraded to driving under the influence with a blood alcohol level over 0.15. Records also show the case was transferred to a different misdemeanor court. It's 8:38 and 72 degrees. Still ahead, how one family keeps running to head for the Cure 5K every year, honoring their loved one and helping fund cancer research.
Taking a look outside with a live cam here on this Saturday, 72 degrees in San Antonio. Still seeing that cloud coverage, though, throughout the morning, and it's still feeling a little muggier. I'll break down the next chance that some folks could see some rain coming up after the break.
The chef in the back was just rocking it out. In the front, this one looks like s'mores.
There's s'mores waffles, yes, sir.
Okay, I'm a huge s'mores fan. You ready? We're gonna dive in. I gotta get some of this s'mores action right here. Is there chocolate on the inside as well?
Yes, chocolate graham crackers.
The s'mores, cheers to you. There we go. It's amazing. The marshmallows are toasted, it's chocolatey. You have a great flavor. I love the powdered sugar on there as well. Give me some elbow. Bam! If you love Eggs Benedict, you got it on top of waffles over here. You have these beautiful poached eggs on top with the hollandaise. Cheers to you, the Eggs Benedict. Here's some more love. Bam! A little spice. It's nice and acidic to balance it out. It's buttery. It's exactly what you want from hollandaise. The eggs are poached perfectly.
Make sure you watch Texas Eats right after this at 10 a.m. And also the Texas Eats Food Festival is next Saturday indoors. Just search it on KSAT.com for tickets. Okay, Hispanic Heritage Month. It starts on Monday, but it's a year-long celebration at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center. To celebrate, the Guadalupe Dance Company and Mariachi Azteca de America will perform Nuestras Voces next Saturday. Here's a preview of the event and how it highlights Tejanos.
Interweaving dance, music, and video to empower the community with a sense of pride and hope through the universal story of resilience. It's what you can expect at the performance of Nuestras Voces, highlighting 5 Texan Mexican-American trailblazers.
Jovita Idar, who is an activist and educator, but she had a quarter launched in her name. She's the first Tejana to be featured on a U.S. quarter. And then we have Americo Paredes, an author, a poet, also an activist. Emma Tenayuca, who fought for pecan shellers' rights. Lydia Mendoza, an amazing recording artist. And then Willie Velasquez, who started the Southwest voter registration.
These are stories told through the Guadalupe Dance Company and musicians of Mariachi Azteca de America on September 20th at 7:30 p.m. at the Buena Theater on the UTSA downtown campus. Belinda Menchaca, the education director of the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center, says these stories are important because you won't find them in your history textbook, and it's important for them to be passed down to younger Latino generations.
It's our moment to be sharing these stories and to make certain that their stories are not lost and that these people are recognized for the work that they did. Because thanks to them, we now enjoy a lot of the freedoms that we have today.
Tickets for the Nuestra Voces start at $30. You can find a link for them on KSAT.com.
And that's happening at the downtown UTSA Buena Theater this next Saturday. So excited.
There's so much to do in San Antonio coming up in the next few weeks or even months, because we have those. We have fall is here, so some people might want to do some fall activities.
Fall. I'm waiting for the cool front. When is our next actual cool front?
I wouldn't bet on it anytime soon, sadly.
Have to be patient.
Yeah, just a little while longer. I mean, today, we're technically already in fall and we're still getting our peak temperature today to about 94 degrees. Now, traditionally, we do see our first cool front around mid to late September, but today we're not expecting any sort of cooler temperatures. Unless you're in the hill country near Rock Springs, you might be having your peak temperature in the 80s today, but Texas is still dry. We're still seeing the burn bans. This is associated with the Texas A&M Forest Service, except for some counties surrounding San Antonio. We actually did go to the county websites to see what areas were actually in burn bans. But if I zoom out to show you the entire state of Texas, South Central Texas, going up to the Panhandle, even West Texas, we're seeing a lot more of those burn bans. Not as much in East Texas. And that also has to deal with our drought. Most of East Texas isn't in the drought. And even in South Central Texas, in San Antonio, in Medina County, we're still seeing that extreme to the exceptional drought. So it is still dry here across the state of Texas. Now, one thing I want it noted is, yes, Kerr County and Gillespie County did have a burn ban, and although they're not in that drought, they do still have a burn ban because of the July 4th floods that went through, and they're still advising people not to necessarily go out and have that happen. But if I put it in a comparison, this was the drought monitor that was released on Thursday. What I'm going to show you is the drought that we were in mid-May. When I do that back to back, you can see that in mid-May, we were in that exceptional drought from Kerr County all the way to Gillespie, up near Austin, San Antonio, Del Rio, Uvalde, Atascosa County. Once again, that was mid-May. This is where we're at now. So although it still seems like we're still talking about that drought, we're still in that drought, even Barton Springs, Edwards Aquifer continued to decrease it to now stage 3. We're still in that drought, but we're in a much better spot than what we were just a few months back. And I know it's still a lot to talk about. We still need the rain. We still want rain. And even the next 7 days, yes, there is a very small chance we could see some sort of rainfall totals. It's going to be maybe traces, hundredths of an inch, if that, near the Rio Grande, even near the coastal plains, and much across South Central Texas and across the Gulf Coast. We're seeing those drier conditions. A different story, though, as you go into Mexico. Like I mentioned, the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Mario just 24 hours ago is now just the remnants. It's already started to weaken as it got closer to Mexico, and all of that moisture has the chance to make it to San Antonio, which is where we do see the rain totals and that rain chance. But otherwise, most of us across the state is going to continue to be a little quieter because of this high pressure. Like I've been mentioning, that high pressure is going to sit in areas of Texas and Oklahoma, really allowing any rain to the west to really just go to the north in areas of the Midwest, or even then go into the Gulf. And it's going to be the story over the next week, and we're going to continue to have another high pressure make its way as we go into Friday and Saturday next week. So we're still really going to continue to be a little quieter. And even then, we're still in hurricane season. The Atlantic is getting a little more active, just like the Pacific. Now, we did already go through peak hurricane season, but it's still going to be quiet over the next 7 days. Just that 10% chance of rain. I'll talk about the tropics later on, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. But right now, we'll go to break and we'll be right back just after.
The Head for the Cure 5K started here in San Antonio back in September of 2014 as a way for us to honor our late news director, Jim Boyle, who died of brain cancer. The first year, the crowd was small, but the message was big, and the goal was to raise money to fund brain cancer research. Stephanie Cerna spoke with a family who has been part of the race from the very beginning, and they are still out there with Team Headstrong every year, even after their loved one, Michael Hartfield, passed away in 2022.
My dad, he was one of the best people that I've ever met, and I'm honored to have him as my dad.
Ever since Clara Hartfield can remember, the Head for the Cure 5K has been a big part of her life. And when her family went out to the 5K that first year in 2014, they were out there in support of her dad, Michael Hartfield.
What is it like, being involved with Head for the Cure, all these years?
As I've grown up, I've realized that it's a lot more, it affects a lot more people. And Head for the Cure, not only is it something that we do for brain cancer, but I just feel like it connects me with my dad.
Michael Hartfield was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer in 2009 when Clara was a newborn and her older sister was 2 years old. Michael went through rounds of radiation and chemo until he got his first clear scan back in January of 2010. And when the Head for the Cure 5K started in San Antonio, Michael joined the race as a survivor.
And he would run the race. He would run. He was so proud that he could do it.
Michael was re-diagnosed in 2020 and started oral chemo. In 2021, Michelle says the chemo quit working, so he went back to MD Anderson for radiation. In 2022, Michael passed away.
We are so blessed that the girls were able to see their dad and grow up and get to know him, because if something would have happened in 2009 or 2010, Clara especially wouldn't have been able to know her dad.
Team Headstrong has now grown to over 75 people, all in support of Michael.
What does it mean to you, all the support that you get with Head for the Cure?
It's something that you can't explain, but it just gives you that faith and that strength just to keep moving forward and just to be a light for somebody else.
Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Race day is on Saturday, September 27th. Things kick off at 8 a.m. at Providence Catholic School, just across the street from us at KSAT. If you visit ksatcommunity.com, we have a link where you can register. It's 8:57 and 72 degrees. After a rough summer and devastating loss, two Hill Country school communities came together last night. Ingram faced Comfort in a football game. We'll give you the final score and what this meant to the community. Okay, homecoming season, it's upon us, which means it's time for moms. Coming up, how to be part of the Texas tradition without breaking the bank. We'll tell you when we come back.